Okay, and we are live. So, good time of the day, everybody. Today's episode is powered by the University of Rhode Island, providing the world with the great thinkers in probably the history of the entire universe. This episode is also brought to you by Elevate Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo, or Judo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the greatest martial arts school in Exeter, Rhode Island. Check it out, and then you will never regret how positively your life is going to be changed after that, after you start your journey in Judo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
And also, this episode is powered by Travis.
My episode is powered by fruit smoothies and vegetables.
That is an excellent choice.
Mine's powered by coffee. Oh, shit.
That is great. So, and then
That's
mine
nice.
is powered by fasting and the freshly squeezed juice when the fast is broken later tonight.
Nice.
Excellent news.
Are you fasting right now?
Yeah, there is some fasting going on until the sun sets. So it's just a slight extension of the usual intermittent fasting, I would say. A little bit of the challenge going on. So yeah, to free up the time, actually, which I will not be spending on cooking, but I'll be spending on some passion projects today.
Awesome. Yeah. We've been doing passion projects too.
Oh, that's great. So yeah, what's the passion project actually? So yeah, because it makes me think that it is like a hobby, but it's just a different word for hobby.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any like projects that you enjoy doing, and you find like a flow state with them, I'd say that's a passion project. So
Okay.
I'd say it's like your primary hobby that you can't stop thinking about.
yeah.
It's not something just to pass the time. It's something you really put time and effort into.
Okay. So yeah, that's going to be kind of the difference. Yeah, maybe you need to acquire some additional skills to be successful at this project. Okay, yeah, that sounds like a good definition. I think now, yeah, people have a little bit more clarity, just like me now have more clarity about the difference between hobbies and passion projects. Oh, yeah, that's quite nice. And then, yeah, taking into account that actually many people did get a lot of time on their hands during this quarantine era, so to speak. So that seems like a good time to start some passion projects really to work on. So yeah, because for example, how much free time do you think you got during the day after the quarantine started?
Well, it all depends on how little schoolwork I'm doing. Recently I've had a lot of free time, but that
Okay.
also is from pushing schoolwork to do later. So, a little bit of procrastinating.
Okay.
That's all right.
Yeah, that happens. That's one of those inevitable items in life with which you are constantly battling.
Yeah.
I have a lot of extra time on my hands just because I don't have to be at school or
Okay.
spend time commuting to places.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it looks like, yeah, on my side, it's also commuting. So yeah, because for example, I used to commute a lot, for example, to work, right? Or to the training facilities of sorts, whatever it's going to be, the gym, the academy, and so on. So yeah, but right now you just need to commute from your bedroom to the kitchen or
Yep.
to the office in the house or your flat, whatever you might have. So yeah, it will give you, I think, at least maybe would you say, like 1 hour a day or something of extra time, right?
I'd say more than that.
Yeah,
I'd
probably
say,
more.
Even more.
I'd say up to 4.
Up to 4, yeah. So this is a substantial time increase, right?
Yeah.
Taking into account that probably you'll just need to sleep about the same amount of time as usual, so maybe even less because you have to just move around less, and then you will spend less energy generally, and then you will need to spend a little bit less time recovering. So yeah, that's good. And then yeah, so looks like yeah we have a lot of time on our hands right now, and then we can convert this time into the passion project. So and I was reading about the importance of passion projects. Looks like it can even be useful for your resume building process, for example.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think.
Oleg, do you have any passion projects you're working on?
The passion projects for now, yeah. So I actually developed one. So I think I would call it advanced cooking skills,
Oh.
or myself at least, right? So because in the past I was able to make oatmeal, for example, and some sort of steak and rice and chicken curry. So all those things. And but right now my goal is just to be able to make some more advanced items, I would say. So yeah, such as some sort of Asian soups, for example, which might be kind of complicated, or it's baking of the ideal cookies, I would say. So that was really
Nice.
advancement in the cooking skills on my side. So yeah, it's not that easy to bake a nice, perfect cookie, actually.
Yeah, it also depends on what you think is perfect. I know a lot of people have different preferences.
Yeah, exactly.
I know some people do this thing where they leave their dough in the fridge for 2 days, I believe.
Oh,
And it
okay.
almost ferments in a way.
Mhm.
You can look it up. It's called maybe like a 48-hour cookie. It's pretty cool, but it's a little, I don't know. It seems like a little extra in my opinion to wait all that time. But
Yeah, exactly. So that temporal issue might be very difficult to deal with unless you plan in advance and you're okay with waiting for 48 hours to get something
that's true.
out of the ordinary. Okay, great. So yeah, Travis, how about yourself?
Well, actually, I know Aiden's been making cookies. You want to talk about that, Aiden?
I have.
Your what is it? Oatmeal.
Oh
banana.
yeah. I found this cool like minimalist recipe online the other day that I kind of already knew about, but it's super neat. It's basically the concept is you're taking oatmeal and you're putting it into a cookie or patty type form, and you can put it in the fridge and have it whenever you want. And it's super easy. You just take ripe bananas, mash them up, and mix that with oats, like whole rolled oats and peanut butter, and you can add in whatever you want, like walnuts or raisins or anything like that. And then you make them into little cookie shapes. You bake them for like 10 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's it. And you got these like little oatmeal, like they're not oatmeal cookies in the sense that they're loaded with brown sugar and butter. They're just strictly oatmeal and banana cookies. It's pretty cool.
They're pretty good too.
It's really
That is
it's a
awesome.
great way to get like a good amount of nutrition just like right there. It'd be helpful if I was still commuting and going to school, but maybe in the future.
Okay. Wow, that is a great recipe. So it only requires 2 components, right? So it's
Three.
oatmeal,
Oatmeal,
bananas,
bananas, and peanut butter. That's
and peanut
like
butter. Okay.
that's all you need.
Great. So it's still just 3 components, and yeah, it's pretty affordable and cheap at the same time. So cooking is definitely hands-on, hands-off, or whatever it is. So it's a great way to pass your time and acquire some valuable skills for life, which will help you save money. So, what are other passion project ideas can we toss around, do you think?
I know Travis has a passion project that he's been spending a lot of
nice.
time on. I would love for him to talk about.
So I've been doing recently for like the past 2 years maybe. I've been making 3-dimensional maps for computer games. So
Okay.
games like Half-Life and Gary's Mod. I've been building maps for them. And so what I did last year was I made the downtown of my hometown in a map. So I went and took pictures of like all the bricks and the sidewalk and the road, and I made them into textures, and then I built a map of the town, kind of like 1-to-1. So now you can like load up the game and run around the town in the game, and it's just like real life. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah. What was the so and then how did you go about making images for this map? You're just walking around taking pictures and then sort of
Yeah.
compiling them all.
Yeah, you take the pictures and then you make them seamless textures so that when the picture goes over and over again,
Okay.
you can't see like the seams. And then
Mhm.
I just matched it up to like Google Images and everything.
Okay.
And, it came out really good.
Wow, that
What
is nice.
what program do
So,
you use for that, Travis? How do
Uh,
you?
I use the Hammer World Editor program, which is part of the Source SDK. Um, and I build them for Gary's mod mostly.
What are other games that people might know that are made with the Source engine?
Half-Life 2, Portal,
Team Fortress.
Counter-Strike, CS:GO, Team Fortress.
Pretty
Also,
popular
I think
games.
Dota, right?
I have no
Dota.
idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't
Probably.
mess with those
Probably.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. So
So that's my passion project. And then I'm making a new one of have you been to Providence, Oleg?
Providence, yeah, that's a great place, definitely.
Yeah. I'm building the mall in Providence.
Oh
So I'm
yeah,
making
the
a map
famous
of that.
Providence Mall. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good place. So yeah, that will definitely make a very adventurous map, I would say, because every time I go to Providence Place Mall, I get lost over there to some
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this might as well become one of the challenge maps for the game where you are going to apply that. That's pretty cool. So then, do you need to know coding to create maps?
Not on this engine, not on the Source engine, but for other games you might. But
Okay.
for the game I'm making, you don't really have to know it.
So
Any
you just need to know
programming.
kind of the software, right? How that works, and
Yeah.
what's the biggest challenge about that?
Um, it's a lot of making sure everything lines up. You have to make sure that everything's optimized too, because if you're running the game and you see too many things at once,
Okay.
that slows down your computer, which isn't fun. So you have to make sure everything's optimized, so everything's like you see only some things at the same time. It's a challenge
Okay.
for sure.
So
Oh,
when you
great.
mean optimized, you mean it's the whole map isn't loaded from the player's perspective all at once. What's loaded is what the player sees at that
Yeah.
angle.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's tough.
Yeah, it looks tough.
Yeah, that is awesome. Well, that's one of those important skills, I think, paying attention to details and yeah, optimization. That's where your patience is tested. Well, at least, yeah,
Yeah.
in my experience. Yeah, that's pretty great. So yeah, we have yeah, map building, cooking, and what else? So Aidan, any ideas for the passion projects we
Yeah,
might
sure.
throw in?
I'll just talk quickly, but recently I've been really getting into Photoshop. I just got Photoshop recently, and I
Okay.
really enjoy it. Actually, it kind of helps me get into that flow state that Travis talks about, where I'm doing something that's fun, but I'm also being productive at the same time. And one of those things I've been doing a lot is I've been really into making video thumbnails, like for this podcast, for example. It's something I really enjoy doing.
Nice.
So it's great practice. But yeah, I've just kind of just stumbled upon it in the effort to make better thumbnails for our videos. And then I found that I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't view it as a chore as much as fun exercise and activity.
Exactly right. Yeah, that's what kind of the passion projects should be about, right? So it's something that you put effort in, right? So it would require effort for sure, but at the same time, you need to make sure that it brings about the fun times. with
For
it.
sure, absolutely.
Right. So, and then you are, as you were saying, kind of like get into the state of flow, right? And then you can also hone some skills, like personal skills, I would say, like patience, attention to detail, right? And then, yeah, later on, maybe you will be able to use it somewhere, those kind of skills at the very least for the work purposes, right? So even if you cannot kind of like directly apply kind of the project to your work or studies. So yeah, sometimes it's hard to find overlap, but yeah, on the kind of larger scale, there is definitely going to be the overlap amongst the skills that you get as you work on the project. And yeah, those skills are transferable, as we might say, to other areas of your life. So yeah, guys, make sure that your projects are fun. And what else? They require creativity, I would say, challenging, and they don't feel like a chore. So
Yeah,
they should
Absolutely.
be challenging and fun at the same time. So yes, we have map building, right? So we have the Photoshop skills, right? So like mastering of the Photoshop, let's put it that way, and the cooking, of course. So yeah, that's nice and simple and yeah, available to kind of the large populace, I would say.
so is there any time of day that you guys think you work best in?
In particular on the projects, yeah, projects of passion, best time of day. I need to think about that. So
I know that I'm a very much a morning person. I really like to wake up, make my coffee, get my water, and go to it. And I think those first 2 to 3 hours of the morning are probably my most productive of the day. When the
Okay.
sun starts to go down, it is just not a good time for me to get anything done. But at the same time, if it's sunny out, it's also hard for me to be inside getting things done. But if you're passionate about it, it's easily overcome.
exactly. So yeah, the morning time. That's quite good. Yeah, that's what I heard about the morning times. So some studies show that basically your brain is at its peak in the morning after you wake up. So yeah, because you are refreshed after the hopefully good night's sleep, and then that's when you can concentrate on some tasks that require the influx of information into your brain, and then your brain processes this information in a successful fashion, especially when it is kind of like early in the morning, like right after the sleep, or maybe after the breakfast, actually. So that's the sequence: sleep and then work right away on something that requires the brain input, right? The processing of information, such as maybe like studies of some challenging material, right? Or you can wake up, have breakfast, and study the challenging material. That's what kind of mornings are good for.
Yeah, I think I'm more of a morning person too. I like to get most of my work done in the morning, and then I find at nighttime I get more creative. That's like right when I'm about to go to bed. That's when like I have all my best ideas.
Oh wow!
Exactly. Yeah, so yeah, the nighttime. Yeah, nighttime. Yeah, here it's good for creativity because that's when there are not so many distractions around. So, and yeah, so your brain has acquired, I think, lots of information throughout the day, and now you can just direct this information into something summarizing, I would say, right? So you have like lots of things, and then you can combine them and create something. That's how you might perceive a creative process. I think so. You can kind of build up something new out of what you already know, right? So by intercombination of those elements, and okay, well, here is kind of the creative results. So apply to whatever you are working with, right? So be that, for example, like research projects, or maybe you want to develop some new technique, new exercise in some sports, which you are passionate about. So yeah, the nighttime is definitely good. So, but yeah, we're speaking about the time, right? So what about exactly the hours of the day, right? For example, if we speak about the morning time is good for, okay, well, processing the information, right, with your brain. So what exactly is that time? Is it like 6 a.m. or 4 a.m.
Oh
and so
no.
on?
I'd say probably like 8 a.m., maybe 8 to 12 are my best hours. Probably 8 to 2.
Eight to two. Okay. So well, yeah. So when you get to 12, it's already kind of the lunchtime. I would say that's kind of like past the morning technically. But yeah, eight to 12. Yeah, that seems to be a nice span. Okay.
I would say 7 to 11.
7 to
I
11.
think
All
if
right.
I get up earlier, I for some reason feel like I have a higher sense of purpose or motivation for whatever reason.
Oh yeah.
It's totally subjective. Yeah, subjective. I mean, getting up at 7 versus getting up at 9 is not really that much of a difference in this
Okay.
current world we live in. But in my own mind, it means something. So I think the earlier the better for some reason.
Yeah, I hear that, for example, yeah, there is this time period from actually 3 a.m. until 5 a.m. in the morning. So, and then I think it's in the Japanese culture, they call it the hour of the tiger, something like that, right? Or it's kind of the tiger hours, I would say, kind of this 2 hour span. So that's when you feel connection to the largest amount of energy in the world that is awakening as well. So,
wow, interesting.
Because yeah, if you basically wake up before the sunrise, so which is these days, I think what is it, like 6 a.m., right? Maybe like 6:15 in the morning. That's when the sun rises, at least here in the Midwest. So I think it's about the same in Rhode Island, right, on the coast, on the East Coast. And yeah, what I hear is that if you wake up early, so like with the sunrise or slightly before the sunrise, then you can almost hear how the nature wakes up, especially if you're outside, somewhere maybe in the park, in the forest, right? And then this gives you this energy boost, which is good for its translation into the work activities.
Nice.
So
I'll have to try it sometime. I usually wake up after the sun's up.
yeah, but yeah, sometimes it's kind of like good to break out from the routine and get after that. So yeah, but yeah, for the not so extreme case, so we have what it's like about 7 to 11, right? Just like the famous food stop, food store,
the gas
or
station.
8 to 12, right? So, but basically like the morning hours before lunch, and then also it helps to be awake, kind of. So yeah, you awake, you walk around, maybe do some mobility exercises, stretching, breathing, meditation, taking a shower, and then yeah, you are good to go. So this will put you in a little bit later hours of the morning. So yeah, okay, and so yeah, it's important kind of to take a little bit time to wake up, maybe like half an hour, 1 hour, and then get to work after that.
Yeah.
Okay, that is awesome. Yeah, and then if we speak about those creative hours, right? So looks like the consensus is it happens sometime after the sunset already, right? So maybe sometime, okay, let's say like 9 p.m., right? So, and what's kind of the best hours for creativity, actually? And that is the question.
I would say for me, it's the same time as the morning.
Really?
Yeah, I think my productivity and creativity are on the same wavelength or something, and I can.
Okay.
It's nighttime is time for me to like relax. I want to like put my brain to sleep. Nighttime's like a meditation time for me. It's not a time I can harness the full power of my brain, I guess. So I find that really interesting that nighttime is your time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's somehow like knowing that I'm going to sleep soon. It's like, actually, what if you think about all this stuff first? So
yeah, it helps to have a notepad next to your bed, actually. So that's what I figured. So yeah, because sometimes, yeah, I go to bed and then, yeah, the notebook is somewhere on the table in the kind of like kitchen office space. And then, oh, damn. So I just had a good idea. And then, yeah, I'm about to forget it for sure when I wake up in the morning. So yeah, I also figure that actually, so if you have something kind of stressful and challenging, then you can also try to put it in the morning, actually. Wake up and then do that kind of as the first thing of the day. So it's kind of akin to this eat the frog first saying, right? So as I say, you need to kind of get rid of the most difficult task of the day first.
Oh, okay.
So that's the kind of the frog that you eat, so to speak. And then, yes, you will feel much better. So this will give you the momentum. And yes, you'll be able to go about everything in a much more vivacious fashion, right? So then if you think about that, so the frog is associated with the stress, just like we were talking about this last week, right? In the previous episode, yeah, we're talking about the stress, right? How to deal with that. And now that we are talking about this morning times, right, which are best for something, and versus evening times, which are best for something else. So yeah, I figured that, yeah, it makes a lot of sense actually to just get rid of this frog. And then oftentimes in the morning, right? And then oftentimes it doesn't take much time to get rid of that frog, maybe like 1 hour, 2 hours of focused work, and then you are done, whatever it might be. Maybe like some sort of like stressful presentation or lecture, right? And depending on what you do, or maybe it's going to be some sort of like deadline which you need to achieve, right? And then get some project out of the way, completed, send it, done. So yeah, I think that's kind of going to be a good recommendation for our listeners to take into account. Like, yeah, do the stressful thing first thing in the morning, and then yeah, everything else will be much easier. Yeah, otherwise this thing will be kind of poisoning your day.
Yeah, that's a good description, poisoning your day. Something's hanging over your head, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of true. So yeah, hanging or looming, as they say. Okay, that is awesome. And yeah, so waking up time. So it's like about maybe like 7 or 6 a.m., right? So that seems like a reasonable time to wake up for a person.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty reasonable. What time do you guys do breakfast? Like, what's your daily food routine?
Good question.
Yeah, so breakfast. Well, yeah, for me there is like no breakfast because it's about the intermittent fasting at this point, and then I will only get to lunch on a regular day, right? So which is about maybe like 12 p.m. actually. So.
Yeah, I follow a similar strategy. I like to not eat for at least 12 hours. I prefer 13 or 14. So usually by the time I eat something, it's around 12. So, but until then, black coffee and water is just fine.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't intentionally do intermittent fasting, but just the way things have worked lately, I've been spending the early hours doing my actual like schoolwork and like projects. And then sometimes it gets to like around 12 or noon and I'll be like, oh, I need to eat food. Like, I gotta make some food. So that's when I've been doing my breakfasts, like every time at noon pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that seems good. And then also another thing, so yeah, if we kind of speak of those kind of food routines, right, that we follow on a regular basis. So yeah, if you make this a routine, right? So if you kind of like skip the breakfast, and if you have something stressful to do, almost I think every day, right? So that what I figured is that sometimes it's kind of like stressful energy helps you, right? So you feel very light because you didn't eat breakfast, and at the same time you have the stressful energy. So and this combination of two factors kind of like helps you deal with the like biggest problem of the day first thing in the morning. Because oftentimes if you eat something, you kind of like feel a little bit heavy because the organism starts spending energy on the like digestion of the food. But yeah, if you don't do that, then yeah, the energy is concentrated somewhere else, right? So you have the default organism energy, which is not spent, or the energy portion which is not spent on the breakfast digestion, right? You can spend it on like doing some work, and plus you have the energy generated by stress or something that keeps you on your toes, and you do the task, and then yeah, you will feel kind of that your lunch will be a reward in a sense when you break your fast or something like that. Yeah, the intermittent fast at like 12 p.m., for instance.
Yeah, I agree. I think it helps. I think intermittent fasting helps your body get in tune with, shoot, what am I trying to say? Like maybe the way our ancestors used to work way back when we were hunter gatherers. I mean, sometimes you wouldn't eat food for 20, 22 hours at a time. You know, you ate it when you could find it. So, you know, they would go a long time without eating. And I think it helps our bodies like get back into that objective mindset.
Yeah.
If you can just reroute that need for hunger to whatever you're doing. So.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
So, and yeah, then basically the first meal of the day might as well be a lunch, right? So yeah, it seems like, yeah, there are benefits to that. You treat it as a reward, right? You will feel light. You'll be able to eat this kind of frog, the mental frog of the day, right? And then you will feel much better. So yeah, there's this combination of factors that will lead to appreciation of like what used to be just a mundane lunch, whatever it might be, some sort of soup and maybe like steak or mac and cheese and some bacon, for example, right? So, and a salad on the side. So yeah, this will you'll become much more passionate about this. So yeah, then so what's going to be kind of the dinner time actually? So if the lunch is at around 12 p.m. maybe or 2, so the dinner is going to be. What are your takes?
Oh, dinner? I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important to have a lot of your macronutrients in your lunch to break that fast. I like to have a large amount of protein in that meal, and then maybe I'll soften up on it the next time. But I haven't eaten meat either since December of 2019.
Oh, okay.
So I've been trying to stick with that, especially because I'm not sure how I'll feel if I do eat it. I'm afraid of getting sick, but it just started out as kind of an experiment to see how my body would react to it.
Awesome.
I thought it would be kind of fun, and I actually really enjoy it. I think I feel a lot nicer and cleaner, but I haven't lost any weight. I haven't lost any muscle mass.
Okay.
Well, due to the diet. The gym closing is a factor in that, but I've only lost about a pound, so that's not bad.
Okay.
But I think it's really important for those of you who are maybe trying to eat more plant-based to learn about and understand more plant-based sources of protein, because that's like the biggest misconception about that kind of diet. You can find a lot of plant-based protein in things like beans and legumes, which I'm huge into. I think those are really great. I think an Instant Pot is a great addition to your kitchen. And those are also very heavy in carbs and minerals, so that's also very filling.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that seems, and then also, yeah, beans are pretty affordable, right? So yeah,
very
if
affordable.
You buy especially dried beans, so yeah, those ones can be quite cheap, and yeah, you might as well buy canned beans. I think canned beans are a little faster to cook, right, compared with the dried beans.
Probably, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, our process for cooking dried beans is easy though. I mean, you can buy a bag for like what, Travis, like $1.89.
Oh yeah, nothing
at the store, and then that's a 16-ounce bag, and then you cook that in the Instant Pot, which it does everything on its own. You just take it out and strain it.
Okay.
And then you got a good at least 4 meals out of that one bag. Just put it in the fridge. So
that's pretty nice.
At least 4. I mean, and that's if you're eating in big quantities. So.
Yeah, so
Highly
and then
recommend.
it's cheap. Looks like there are at least some nutrients, right, which are required. But you might as well get like a multivitamin complex, and then yeah, you should
Oh,
be
for
fine.
sure. Yeah, I take a vitamin B12
Yeah.
every day just in case, but yeah, be careful about that.
Okay. Yeah. So and then yeah, when you quit the meat, what was it kind of like hard to cope with that during maybe the first week or something like that, or the first 21 days, as they say, to develop a habit?
Yeah, I would say it kind of was a little bit, but honestly, something that helped a lot was because it was one of the biggest problems was my own cooking skill and scope. Everything I cooked, I incorporated meat into it, but I just had to relearn, like you say, how to cook different things.
Okay.
And cook new things for that matter. One thing that helped me out was I would buy Beyond Meat. Regardless, it was really expensive, but regardless, it was a great substitute for real meat in a lot of things that I cooked, and that really helped a lot. But it can get really smoky really quick because it's got a lot of
It
different
gets really
vegetable oils.
smoky really quick.
So be careful about that.
That is awesome. All right. Well, that is great. So yeah, Travis, any remarks you would like to introduce?
I'd say just for food, the only thing I've been doing is differently or unique is I've been eating a lot of ramen lately.
Oh yeah.
We buy some pretty quality ramen, not like the cheap kind that's all fake.
With MSG.
Okay.
MSG, yeah. We buy some quality ramen, and I've been eating that pretty much every day
Nice.
for like dinner.
Yeah, ramen is very versatile. So yes, we can actually add a little bit more information. The ramen seems to be like a very nice topic. So
Yeah, so we can talk more about ramen next time.
yeah,
Absolutely.
If you guys are
Let us
interested,
do
stay
that.
Hell
tuned
yeah.
for that.
ramen is very packed with various recipes, and yeah, those recipes can be also targeted for almost any taste and budget, which is what makes ramen especially good. Okay, great. So once again, this episode was powered by the University of Rhode Island. Think big and do this now. Do not procrastinate, do not put off, and then you will achieve the best results and the pinnacles of your life with higher probability. Also, this episode was brought to you by Elevate Judo and Jiu-Jitsu in Exeter, Rhode Island. Yeah. So check out this martial arts school. It's really awesome. And then you will never regret that you will have started judo and or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu way, because it will change your life in the paramount fashion, or this change will be of paramount importance, as a matter of fact. So you will never regret that. And also drink. What do we drink?
Fruit smoothies and vegetables.
Coffee.
And water, and also freshly squeezed juices, so which are actually quite easy to make as long as you have a juicer. So yeah, stay healthful, vigilant, and action oriented and actionable. Not only oriented, just do the action, get after the great results and towards the pinnacles.
Yes. Yep, you gotta start somewhere.
Exactly right.
Awesome.
All right, so we'll see you later, guys, and stay excellent. Boom, boom, boom.